What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics, guys? Thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse discussion. The likers, the watchers, the commenters, and especially the subscribers. Thank you guys for helping this channel continue to grow, the conversation continue to flow, and the Sixer discourse on the up and up. We got to keep up with this Sixer team, guys, because they have not been keeping up with the competition. The Cleveland Cavaliers practically, basically, swept the in-season series between the Sixers and the Cavs. The Sixers dropped 3 straight games. And in the last game, if you watched it closely, you thought they had them. The Sixers had the lead for majority of the contest. And it looked like the Sixers were going to walk away with a victory against Cleveland. Cleveland was playing extremely bad. So many forced turnovers, so many mistakes. But when it came down to the fourth quarter, experience, camaraderie, chemistry, and consistency broke through, and it wasn't for Philadelphia. The Cleveland Cavs beat the Sixers in, I would say, consistent fashion. Because all of those early season comeback victories, all of those early season fourth quarter hurrahs, I have not seen it in the month of December. I have not seen it in the month of January, and I haven't seen it in quite some time. You would like to see the Sixer team not only dominate a good team, but be able to restrain and restrict a good team from making a comeback, from starting a run. I mean, multiple times this Cleveland Cavalier team's on an 11-0 run, no Joel. Then they go on an 8-0 run, no Joel. Then there is Joel. Nick Nurse and his lineups. We'll talk about it, guys. What does this team need to improve on? One thing they definitely, for sure, need to improve on: lineups, man. Nick Nurse needs to figure out what the lineups are going to be, who should be in, who needs to play, and who needs to play with one another, because these lineups have been makeshift minutia. A lot of junk has been thrown out there on the court. Adem Bona and Joel Embiid, those dual lineups may be able to work, but you got to surround them with spacing, true floor spacing. And if you're going to put a bunch of athletic players out there, Bona, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, you better surround those guys with some gosh darn shooting. Because Paul George is a pretty good shooter, but his catch and shoot ability is not one of the best in the league. Kelly Oubre was shooting the ball at a career high, and it seems like that career high has gone bye-bye. Kelly Oubre is back to Kelly Oubre shooting. And Adem Bona, you already know he can't space the floor. So you should surround them with bona fide jump shot makers and jump shot takers. Maybe Eric Gordon. Maybe you need Maxey. What the team needs to really focus on are those non-Embiid, non-Tyrese Maxey lineups. Because Nick Nurse said in a post-game press conference that the team is trying to get the VJ plus Paul George lineups clicking. If you can get VJ and Paul George running that second unit smoothly, allowing VJ to get comfortable and be aggressive on offense, allowing Paul George to get comfortable and pick his spots, take his shots on offense, that gives you a better second unit, a better bench performance, and a better diversified scoring attack than what we've been seeing so far, which has just been Joel and Tyrese. Asking Paul George how he's settling into his brand new role as the third option, I'll tell you up first, he don't like it. He don't like it. But to the media, he's saying all the right stuff. I think I'm still kind of trying to learn that. Through my career, I've been used to having the ball, being the primary ball handler, the primary facilitator. So I'm still learning, trying to find the rhythm. Some of what Paul George just said there is true. Some of what Paul George just said there was nonsense. But one thing that Paul George is learning is that his days of being the primary ball handler, they're done. I mean, those are way gone. Long gone, Paul George. Those years of you being the man on offense, the man on defense, the man in the locker room. Guys, he's just a man now, if you know what I'm saying. Because on some of these games when Paul George is supposed to be a true third option, he finds himself trickling down to be a fourth option scorer with VJ Edgecombe taking that third option nod and those third option opportunities. What Paul George really needs to focus on, which he did say in this quote right here, Throughout my career, I'm used to being having the ball, being the primary ball handler, the primary facilitator. Still learning, trying to find that rhythm. Some of this stuff is true, guys. Paul George was a primary ball handler, but he was never the primary facilitator. Paul George never took initiating the offense, finding guys their spots, finding guys good shots. He never took that role into his hands. If he did, and if he was used to that role, if that was something that Paul George had a skill and a knack for sure, the Sixers would use him in that role. But like Nick Nurse said in his last post-game press conference, the team's really trying to get those VJ and Paul George lineups clicking together, because one thing they haven't done is find a true offensive initiator, creator, and facilitator when Tyrese and Joel are off of the court. And I would like to see VJ step up, take that role into his hands, be the guy, be the offensive creator, be the scorer, be aggressive on the offensive end. But Maxey knows and VJ knows he wears a lot of hats on this team, okay? If you want VJ to be more of a scorer, then he may be less of a defender. If you want VJ to be more aggressive attacking the paint, then he may be less aggressive grabbing rebounds. Here's what Tyrese Maxey says about VJ and him also being a rookie accepting these roles. Now, it's definitely a process, man. He's played so many different roles for us this year. He's had to score. He's had to lead lineups. He's had to guard the best player. He's just growing every single day, and he's doing a really good job of handling it. Tyrese Maxey continued and said, most rookies come in as a top 3 pick, not on a playoff team or a team that's trying to win. So that's what we try to do, try to win, and he's just done a great job of wearing many different hats. VJ has fit in by being the primary defender, the primary ball handler, the primary scorer. He's had multiple hats this year, and the true question is, can we get Jared to put on a lid? Can Jared McCain put on a lid for this team? Guys, Jared McCain just got sent down to the G League to get some G League reps, to get some on-ball opportunity, to start facilitating, to start creating, to start initiating, and to start taking a shot again. Because Jared McCain's shot is not looking like the way it did last season. It could be the knee surgery. It could be the lack of opportunity that he's getting on the court in the regular season. But what you really see right here is that Jared McCain struggled. Played 30 minutes, shot 5 for 18 from the field, had 6 turnovers. I mean, Jared McCain really struggled in that G League stint. Now, there's 2 scenarios here. One, Jared McCain just truly struggled. He genuinely struggled out there in that G League stint. Or there's rumors out there that multiple teams have been picking up the phone to see if Jared McCain is available this trade season. And if Jared went out there and he balled, and I'm talking about, let's just say Jared went out there and had a 30-point game and shot extremely well, assisted the ball, his trade value would have went up. His trade market would have went up. And the likelihood that Jared McCain would have been shipped off to a team that is playing extremely soft with no hopes of winning, extremely likely. I'm talking about teams in the rebuild faction, in the rebuild area, like Utah. Jared don't want to go there. Like New Orleans. Jared probably don't want to go there. If you're Jared McCain with the following, the fandom, and the love you get from Philadelphia, you want to stay in a big market. You want to stay in a team that is going to win, that can win, and is going to compete. Because Jared McCain is one injury away from having a lot of minutes to play. If Quentin Grimes is injured, Jared McCain should probably take that spot. If VJ Edgecombe gets injured, Jared McCain should probably take some of those Quentin Grimes minutes. If Paul George gets injured, again, Quentin Grimes moves up, so does Jared McCain. So realistically, wanting to be traded from Philadelphia won't help Jared McCain's career in the long run. Because once you have that first trade on your resume, and you've been in 2 locations where you have not been successful, it's so difficult to get back to the NBA where opportunity will be calling your name and you won't have to be clawing at its door. So for Jared McCain to go out there and play bad intentionally, I'm not saying he did. I didn't actually get a chance to watch the entirety of the G League stint. But I will say that Jared McCain playing bad really does help him and really does hinder Philadelphia's opportunities and options of moving him for a piece that actually has a market. So, also in addition to Jared McCain being sent down to the G League, yes, that does look bad for him to struggle as bad as he did. Shooting 5 for 18 is ridiculous. When you got Johnny Brome on this very same Sixer squad putting up 50-point outings, you want to see that Jared McCain is a true NBA player, could be a real NBA slayer. But if you can't produce in the G League, I do not believe you can produce in the real league. And with guys like Johnny Brome, again, putting up 50 for the Blue Coach, Jared McCain struggling, it just lets you know that a trade needs to be made. A trade needs to be made. Jared McCain's market is probably at an all-time low. I can't believe that teams are going to be trying to give the moon the entire treasure chest, or really open up the wallet and saying, this is how much he's worth, and I'll give you max dollars. Jared McCain's market being at an all-time low means he'll probably stay on the Sixer team past the trade deadline. And what trade can be made? Because if Jared McCain's market's low, who's an asset for the Sixer team to try to move for a better piece? Caleb Martin for Quentin Grimes was a crazy grab, a great trade by Daryl Morey. And because Daryl Morey has been known as a trade savant, teams are not as accepting of picking up his phone calls, saying, Daryl, what are you looking for? Let's make it happen. It's just not the way the NBA works because of how successful Daryl has been with the trades that he has made. So any asset on this Sixer team is going to have to be playing above the cuff, going to have to be playing above average so Daryl can move them for a player that he believes is also above average. And that's just so tough right now. What trades can be made, guys? We've talked about Simon Fontecchio. I don't believe Trey Murphy's available right now, not with what this team has at their disposal. I don't believe Zion Williamson is available right now, not for what this team has at their disposal. But you do, and you should, be looking at. But why not trade for Michael Porter Jr.? Guys, Michael Porter Jr. is obviously on the move. The Brooklyn Nets need to trade him, would like to get maximum dollar for him. I don't think too many teams, especially out west, are giving away what the Brooklyn Nets would need. If you can give away Jared McCain, an up-and-coming point guard who we still believe could be a star, the Nets have nothing but minutes opportunity for him. And then you give up Paul George again as try to salary match. You can get Michael Porter Jr. and another contract filler piece with a first-round pick as well. And that gives the Nets another player they can potentially move in the future for assets. Gives them a first-round pick for the Clippers, who seems to be a very desirable and acquirable first-round pick. Michael Porter Jr. in Philadelphia would be a move that would be great to be made because Paul George still trying to figure out how to be a good catch-and-shoot player. Michael Porter Jr.'s got that roll down, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do you think Michael Porter Jr. is actually acquirable for the Sixer team? Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe because I would love MPJ in Philadelphia.